Mariners Game 2 here in beautiful little Havana, Lone Depot Park. You're watching Marlins.tv. I'm Jeremy Taché. We're merely moments away from first pitch here as the Marlins go for yet another series win. But when you're as hot as the Marlins have been, there are bound to be a variety of heroes. And last night, it's Jacob Marcy who comes away with the walk-off. Heriberto Hernandez, he has the game-tying home run. But how about Michael Peterson, who was a hero earlier in the game? In the 6th inning, he relieves Max Meyer with the bases loaded and nobody out. First, he gets the ground ball over to Kyle Stowers. An unbelievable pick by Joe Mack at home to get the force out. That's a fielder's choice. Then a big swing and a miss by the big dumper. Cal Raleigh strikes out. And then Josh Naylor grounds out. He escapes a bases-loaded, no-out jam. Here's what his skipper had to say about the heroic performance.
I mean, Big Mike has been more than a key contributor. I mean, he's been a fantastic piece in our bullpen this year, and have asked a lot of him in some really tight spots, and coming in with a lot of runners on base. And again today, bases loaded, nobody out. He got the the grounder to first. Mac makes the play on the ball from Stowie coming in, and then he gets the punch. And leaves it stranded there with nobody out. Like you said, I mean, if you give up one run there, you're actually like, okay, that's you're most likely going to happen. But Mike has just been filling it up with premium stuff. And again today, he's done it all on the road trip. And really now through this run we've been having, we've leaned on him a lot, and he's really performed.
I've seen it all year. These guys just pick me up, and we pick each other up. It didn't surprise me at all. I was fired up for Mike. That's a huge situation to come in and escape with nothing. So yeah, I mean, hats off to him. It's so fun watching these guys play, and I mean, he's one of our best guys in the pen. So I mean, just watching him throw this full year, it's been a real treat to watch.
You heard Max Meyer, you heard the All-Star. These guys are so much fun to watch play, and we've got another fun one coming at you here on Marlins.tv. The Fish are going for another series victory. They've got Tyler Phillips on the bump, and they've got all the guys you're watching right here in the lineup, Jacob Marcy amongst others. Here we go on Marlins.tv. First pitch coming up next.
The three for me.
Miami Marlins baseball on Marlins TV is presented by Werner Hoffman and Garcia, the official law firm of the Miami Marlins, by FPL, and by UHealth, pushing medicine forward. Lone Depot Park, Marlins Mariners, Game 2. Tyler Phillips is on the mound for the Marlins tonight. 24th appearance of the season, 8th start for Tyler. The lineup that he will face, presented by Dan Wilson. Seattle's lineup is brought to you by FPL. And this is the same exact lineup we saw in Game 1 last night. Be careful with Arozarena and Canzone. Some healthy OPSs right there. Outside of that, kind of got to get through Raleigh and Naylor. But the Marlins did a very nice job with the Seattle Mariners last night. Speaking of the Marlins, Tyler Phillips versus George Kirby here in Game 2. And Phillips with that .352 ERA this season.
Yeah, one thing that Tyler is always good at is filling up the strike zone with an assortment of pitches. Let's see how he goes after this Mariners lineup tonight.
We welcome you to a Wednesday night of Miami Marlins baseball on Marlins TV. J.P. Crawford was 1 for 4 in Game 1 last night. Tyler Phillips took a no decision in his last start last Friday in West Sacramento. Allowed 5 runs over 3 1/3. Marlins bats let him off the hook with a 12-5 victory. 4th career appearance, 2nd career start for Phillips against Seattle, as Crawford knocks one foul. Remember earlier this year when Tyler had that 8-run blow-up, which established a career high or tied a career high with 8 runs allowed in a start? The only other time he's ever allowed that many runs in a start happened to be in his 5th major league start against these Seattle Mariners. That was a couple of years ago. Phillips a totally different guy now, as he rocks and fires an 0-2 that misses low.
Well, you have to be ready. He likes to work quickly, and he also really likes to work here at Lone Depot. 1-0 with a 1.16 ERA, 1.16 ERA at home.
12 appearances, 3 starts. Chopper right side. Nicely done. 1 up and 1 down for Phillips.
Take a look at the defense. I'm going to focus up the middle. You always want to be strong up the middle. Joe Mack, Otto Lopez, Xavier Edwards, Jacob Marcy. You look around Major League Baseball, that's as strong as you can get up the middle. Hernandez and Casey flank Marcy in the outfield.
Speaking of the Marlins defense, they played some of the worst defense in baseball through the end of May. Since June 1st, they have played some of Major League Baseball's very best defense.
Since June 1st, they're third in the major leagues in defense.
That is one big reason for their turnaround. At our hot corner, look at the Marlins fielding percentages through May 31st and since June 1st. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the count on Randy Arozarena. Getting a good look there at Clayton McCullough. His ball club is 50-42. They are 3 games back, as we showed you moments ago, in the National League East. Marlins are 24-8 since the start of June, the best mark in baseball. A 2-game lead over the Cardinals for the National League's final wild card spot. 3 back of the Braves to the backhand of Otto Lopez. Strong throw to first, picked by Stowers. He got caught in between, but a solid pick by Stowers, making his 19th start at first this season.
Boy, first of all, nicely done by Otto to get into the hole to pick that hard hit shot off the bat of Arozarena. Then a little footwork by Kyle Stowers. He steps back a little to play that hop and get a little better chance to catch that hop. If he goes out after it, he's probably not going to get it. Stayed back, picked it, stayed on the bag.
There's some guys that have playing first base for a decade that probably don't come up with that one.
He looks good over there.
Really good, really sharp. Here is Dominic Canzone batting .267 this season for the Mariners. He is tied for their team lead with 14 homers. He took an 0 for 5 in Game 1 last night. Seattle still in first place in the American League West. Half-game lead over the Rangers. Marlins down Seattle 6-5 in Game 1. How about this? Coming into the ball game last night, the Mariners were 20 games over 500 when scoring 4+ runs this season. Marlins beat them, came from behind. 4th walk-off win of the season for the Marlins last night. Their 2nd win in extras and their 18th scrappy come-from-behind victory of the season.
Tell you, that last pitch sends a message to the Mariner hitters.
And Canzone sends Phillips a message by banging a sinker right back where it came from.
And the reason I say that, it was a 3-0 sweeper. So that tells all the hitters over there on the Mariners bench, this guy will throw that sweeper anytime. However, this pitch right back up the middle off the bat of Canzone, who coming up in the minor leagues, he was drafted by the Diamondbacks, always could hit.
Canzone at first with 2 away. Here's Cal Raleigh. And he flies that splitter to shallow center field. Going to be a tough play. Out goes. Otto can't make the catch. Canzone will stop at third. If anybody was going to get there, it was going to be Otto. He just couldn't reel it in. I mean, the degree of difficulty off the charts on that play. He almost came up with it. And Raleigh's got his 3rd hit and 6 ABs in this series.
Yeah, with Marcy playing deep, the ball hit off the end of the bat. He wasn't going to get there. And really, the only guy who had a chance was Otto Lopez, and that's a difficult chance. Over the shoulder, ball moving a little bit.
Yeah, and you know Otto would love another chance at that one. Boy, he got alligator arms at the last minute. Here's Josh Naylor.
Talked about the ball that Raleigh hit. Watch his bat.
How about that?
He's got the handle left. That's it.
He blew that baby up, did Phillips. Here's Naylor. He was 1 for 5 with an RBI last night. And a ground ball to Stowers. He's got it. Nicely done by Kyle Stowers. Give him a couple of assists here in a scoreless top of the first. Back here at Lone Depot Park, scoreless as we go to the bottom of the first. couple of good hands plays by Stowers at first there in the top of the first. Here's a look at the Werner, Hoffman, Gregg, and Garcia starting lineup for the Miami Marlins here in Game 2. Hicks, Lopez, Edwards, Stowers, Casey Hernandez, Marcy Mack, and Javier Sonoja. Well, you think Tyler Phillips has a good sweeper. George Kirby has a really good one. In fact, both of these guys feature a pair of the best sweepers in Major League Baseball as you get a look at George Kirby's numbers this season.
You're going to see a lot of those. See some four-seamers, some knuckle curves, some sinkers. But he loves to use that sweeper. We'll scout him a little bit for you. He's been a consistent winner for Seattle over the years. First player selected in the first round ever out of Elon University. And his dad played a little baseball at FIU.
A little homecoming of sorts, I suppose, for George Kirby. Liam Hicks is set to lead things off. First pitch he sees, misses. It's ball one on Liam, who I would love to tell you is hitting .380 across a career-long 19-game on-base streak, and that he's hit successfully in 17 straight. But that's not the case, huh? We were told maybe an hour outside of first pitch tonight that Major League Baseball had informed the Marlins that they overturned Liam's base hit to an error from the first inning on July 2nd at Colorado, meaning his hitless streak was snapped at 12 games. He also snapped his on-base streak on July 2nd as well. So that's a total bummer, but doesn't take away from the fact that Hicks has been just a rock star at the plate lately.
Yeah, just raking. So all we can say is he's working on a 4-game hitting streak.
Might have knocked off the chest of Naylor, who flips that to Kirby, and there's one away.
Kirby has been getting a lot of ground balls this year. We'll check out the defense behind him. Rosarena, Robles, and Rayleigh in the outfield. The infield will be busy if he gets those ground balls. Crawford and Emerson on the left side. Young and Naylor over on the right side. And Cal Raleigh behind the plate.
Here comes your Major League hits leader and average leader. Otto Lopez was 1 for 5 in Game 1. Otto Lopez's single off of Brian Wu last night was the 100th different pitcher that he's gotten a hit off of this season. Batting average sitting at .343. He woke up this morning 16 points clear in the average department of Luis Arraez and 12 hits clear of Arraez in the hits department. Now Hicks's 17-game hitting streak was snapped, but Lopez's 7-game hitting streak is intact as he fouls that sinker off.
And as we're speaking, Luis Arraez was 0 for 4 in their game today against Toronto.
Pre-All-Star break, Marlins ranks all time. Look at some of those numbers for Otto Lopez. He needs 3 hits to surpass Luis Arraez as Lopez strikes out on a knuckle curve. Well, that was a pretty good knuckle curve. So while we have a moment, we will take a look at the arsenal here for George Kirby. StatCast brought to you by Google Cloud.
Yeah, we talked about the sweeper and the four-seamer. His four-seamer, he'll get up 96, 97 miles an hour. You see the sinker, a few knuckle curves and change-ups, but he loves that sweeper to go along with the four-seamer.
Here comes the X-Man. He gets 1 foul. Well, prior to allowing 6 runs in the opener last night, Mariners pitching had allowed 7 total runs across their previous 6 games. That included 5 wins. Edwards batting .300. He was 1 for 5 in Game 1. He's behind in the count, 0-2. Edwards over his last 15 games, a .377 hitter. He's now batting over .300 against righties, a little under .300 against the lefties, and a .291 hitter here at home as he waits on at 0-2. Takes it low.
And by the way, the reason I mentioned Luis Arraez 0 for 4, most of the hitters in the Giant lineup were 0 for. They only got 1 hit. Dylan Cease gave that hit up in the 9th inning. First batter he faced.
Those Giants now 16 games under 500 this season. They checked the swing down at third. Chris Siegel said that Edwards did not go around. Rest of the umpiring crew tonight: Brian O'Nora is at second, Eric Backus is at first, and the crew chief Las Diaz, who will hang him up following the 2026 season, has the balls and strikes. He's behind the plate. 0-2 to 2-2. Edwards will hang around.
See Xavier do this a lot all year. He works counts. Even if he falls behind, he'll foul off a few tough pitches and just hang in there.
And a couple of pitches here, a couple of pitches there may ultimately result in, say, George Kirby not getting that 6th or 7th inning later on in this game. George Kirby starting this ball game tonight on 8 days of rest. The Mariners have won each of his last 2 outings after losing 6 of the prior 8. Edwards got a piece of that changeup to stay in there.
No, last night with Brian Wu, who had horrible road numbers. A little different for George Kirby. His ERA this year on the road a little over 3 in 7 starts.
Right-hander out of Rye, New York, having a hard time putting Xavier Edwards away, who sends a charge into a changeup to center, backing up Robles. He's got it. And a perfect bottom of the first for George Kirby. Marlins TV is presented by Warner Hoffman, Gregg, and Garcia. Beautiful Wednesday night here in South Florida. We are inside the air-conditioned comfort of Lone Depot Park, where we have a scoreless ball game as we go to inning number 2. The Raley, Young, and Robles for the Seattle Mariners. We're 47-45, but still maintain a half-game lead in the American League West. Here's a bunt by Luke Raley. Pretty good. Sanoja's throw to first, not nearly in time. 3rd hit already for the Mariners off of Tyler Phillips. This one comes in the bunt variety.
Well, nicely done by Raley. Notice that Sanoja playing back as he should. He's not expecting a bunt, playing over a little bit too. So he just gets it down on the ground, make sure the pitcher isn't going to field it, and he got himself a base hit.
There was Cole Young. He went deep last night. Nice pick there by Mack. Last night, the Mariners innings 1 through 3. No hits against Max Meyer in every offensive inning since. 8 now. They have 1+ hit in 8 consecutive innings. That is hit sharply to second. That is tailor-made, my friends. 4-6-3 goes the double play. And Phillips erases the leadoff bunt base hit by Raley. It's our Doral Kia double play, huh?
Boy, isn't it nice to have that nice double play combo? 4-6-3. We talked about the strength up the middle. You saw it in action right there. Hard hit, great feed by X to Otto, and then a strong throw over to first.
Oh, did that hit the bat of Robles or did it hit him? I think it hit the bat. No. Robles will go to first. Well, we have a developing situation here, Hot. Let's take a real quick look at this hit by pitch. Oh, yeah. The birthday boy, Owen Casey, is out of this game. And Griffin Conine is the new right fielder. Trying to work backwards here and see what potentially could have happened. Of course, Casey has not hit. You had the Canzone single to center. The Raleigh base hit.
I would think some sort of a sickness, not a physical injury.
Could be. Well, happy birthday to Owen Casey, but sad to see you out of this one already. We'll keep you posted. So after the hit by pitch from Phillips, here is the young and Mariners hope superstar shortstop of the future, Colt Emerson. who was 0 for 3 last night, facing the Marlins for the first time in his career. Long hold by Phillips. Robles was looking a little itchy over there at first. Doesn't go. It's 2 balls and no strikes now. Let's see what's going on here. This was Casey coming off the field in the top of the first. He went right down the tunnel. Hopefully everything's okay with Owen. He wasn't celebrating his 21st. It's his 24th birthday. There's a ground ball hit weakly right behind the bag. At second, Lopez will take care of that. We have a scoreless game after 1.5.
Esta transmisión de los Marlins está disponible en español.
Well, it's turning into a party here at Lone Depot Park. Kids of all ages, men and women, young and old, everybody's coming out to support the Marlins. There's Griffin Conine. He's about second here in the second. He has replaced Owen Casey, who played right field in the top of the first, and then he disappeared. So here's Kyle Stowers. He flies a knuckle curve to center, deep. Robles back, track, walk on. Kyle Stowers with his 12th of the year. 1-0 Miami here in the second.
You talk about a beautiful swing on a knuckle curve. The way Kyle Stowers kept himself back, kept his hands back, and just launched it perfectly. Didn't try to pull it. He's got the kind of power. He can go straight away center, and he just did. The Marlins have been on a bit of a home run barrage going back to that series in Sacramento.
Here is Griffin Conine.
There's the curveball. His hands stay back. Just perfect bat angle. It's a thing of beauty.
And that was another Marlins home run for healthcare, brought to you by Leon Medical Centers. Each Marlins homer this season means a donation to the League Against Cancer, delivering free care in South Florida. So remove the Stowers homer already here tonight. You're going to say, don't do that. Why do you want to do that? Let's first watch the homer again.
Curve kind of stayed up there. It didn't have the bite that he wanted, that Kirby wanted.
1 ball, 2 strikes to count on Griffin Conine, who hits that foul. So after the ball game last night, the Marlins had hit multiple home runs in 4 straight games, totaling 14 homers. To your point, you just mentioned that barrage in Sacramento. They had never before in the franchise's history hit 14 home runs in any 4-game stretch. And now they've got 15 in their last 5 games. Griffin Conine yanks one into right. Like sometimes when you know you're not starting and then you just get thrown into action, you're not thinking about it and you just get a base knock.
Man, I was thinking the same thing, Kyle. You sit around, you do your pregame stuff, you know you're not in the lineup, then all of a sudden, boom, you're in the lineup. All you're concerned about is, okay, I better get in the on-deck circle. Okay, gotta get some hits, gotta see the ball, and a relaxed Griffin Conine got up and got himself a base hit.
Don't think about it. Just get a base knock. Here comes Heriberto Hernandez with more on Bert. We go downstairs and say hello tonight to Jeremy Taché.
Thanks, Kyle. Well, you guys might notice the double red wristbands right there on Bert, and he specifically has been wearing those since he came back up from being sent down to Jacksonville. So what he told me is that last year he wore these red wristbands in honor of ALS Day. You might see the logo on there. He didn't wear them to start this season, but when he came back up from Jacksonville, Blake Lawley said, hey, Bert, when you wear those, you rake. You should wear them every day. He hasn't taken them off since, and he's gone on to be the guy with the 4th best OPS amongst right-handed hitters since his return to Major League Baseball.
He's been incredible. His 3rd pinch hit home run of the season last night. His 4th game-tying home run of 2026 for Hernandez last night as well.
So we'll give an assist to Blake Lawley. And there are those right-handed batters, highest OPS. Roberto, number 4 on a list of some power hitters.
Swing, get a miss, got him with a sweeper. And one out for George Kirby here in the last of the second. How about a quick message from FPL?
At FPL, our teams are working every day because reliability isn't an option, it's a commitment. FPL, working for you every single day.
Here is Jacob Marcy, who had one of his best nights at the plate last night. Marcy 2 for 4, had an RBI 2-out base knock, and then he nearly hit a 3-run walk-off homer, which would have just been the icing on the cake. He still walked off the ball game for the Marlins last night. As Marcy takes a cutter high. So the Marlins tonight, should they hit another homer, would hit multiple homers in 5 consecutive games. And that would tie a mark that's only been done 3 other times in franchise history. So we'll keep our eye on that as Marcy waits on a 1-1. And he takes that for strike 2.
You know, I think it started with Jacob Marcy. We saw him hit that home run against the Athletics. Things started to come together there. He got the base hit the day he got hit in the knee also.
Yeah.
And then the day off certainly helped him and came back with the big night last night.
Sink your hit in the air to right center. Maybe a little out in front of it, a little underneath it. And there's 2 away. You know, the one thing that Gabby and I talked about with Marcy on the road trip, to your point, because I'm thinking about the homer now. Marcy coming into the ball game tonight has now hit in 4 straight. His season high is hitting in 5 straight. But the one big thing we talked about, Hutton, the reason I bring this up, just stack one day after another. Your batting average at this juncture is not going to go up 60 points in one game, even if you go 6 for 6. But just start building days. Consider them building blocks. Feels like that's what Jacob Marcy's doing as Joe Mack swings and misses.
It might help if you do what Tyler Tolbert did. Kansas City Royals player went 12 for 12 over a 3-game span.
That'll help. So here is Joe Mack, who was 0 for 3 in game 1, but he once again flashed his rookie brilliance behind the plate. Caught his 17th potential base stealer of the season. Conine at first with 2 out. Ouch.
He got dinged up a few times back there behind the plate.
The one time really stunned him and caught him flush.
You know, and talking to him briefly around the batting cage, hitting wise, he's really just starting to get more comfortable, more confidence, and settling in, taking each AB, going through the scouting reports of the pitcher. So just starting to feel more comfortable on the hitting end.
You know, the one thing I love about him as well, Hut, is he's very confident. He's humble, but I think he knows that he's really good and that he belongs here.
Oh, yeah.
I think he knows that. You probably have to have that
That's
mentality
okay
at this level. Can't exactly come to the yard every day wondering if you belong here or not. Joe Mack knows he belongs. He's let everybody know that he belongs here as he waits on a 1-2 from George Kirby. And that is in there for strike 3. But the Marlins and Kyle Stowers delivered here in the bottom of the second. A solo shot for Stowers. It's 1-0 Miami. His 12th of the year. Back with you at Lone Depot Park on Marlins.tv. Top of the 3rd inning scoreboard brought to you by Werner, Hoffman, Gregg, and Garcia. Kyle Stowers with a solo shot, his 12th of the year. He makes it 1-0. Top of the order, Crawford, followed by Arozarena and Canzone here in the 3rd for Seattle. This is now the 6th straight ball game in which the Marlins have scored first, and they are 37-11 when doing so this season, which is the 2nd best mark in baseball. Crawford hits that softly on a line, sinking fast into center, and a leadoff hit for the Mariners, who now have at least 1 hit in 9 consecutive innings. Before Randy Arozarena bats, let's get a word from Doral Kia.
Take advantage of a Pricito now on all of your favorite new Kia models. Like a new Kia K5, Sportage, Sorento, Soul, and more.
Here's Arozarena. The Marlins have already turned one double play in this ball game. Young wrapped into a 4-6-3, twin killing in the second. Kid Tyler Phillips get another here in the third. Let's see. Ugly swing, 0-1.
Yeah, don't let that fool you. Arozarena does that a lot. He can take a bad looking hack and then hit a line drive somewhere.
He took a swing last night. He spun around 3 times before his body came to a stop. The 8th-year big leaguer. He defected from Cuba to Mexico, did Randy Arozarena. Signed with the St. Louis Cardinals as an international free agent. And he played with the Cardinals in August of 19 for just 19 regular season games before he was traded to the Tampa Bay Rays. And sinker missed inside.
He set all kinds of Tampa Bay records in that 2020 postseason. Hit .377 with 10 home runs in the 20 games in postseason.
It's crazy. 10 homers, 29 hits in one postseason.
One postseason.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? You know, he became such a fan favorite at Tropicana Field in his Rays tenure that the team dedicated an outfield cheering section to him that was called Randy Land. And the fans used to go nuts there at the Trop. Arozarena lays off a sinker, 2 balls and 1 strike. The Rays traded Arozarena to the Mariners ahead of the July 2024 deadline.
I think the Rays are happy to be back at the Trop, by the way.
I was happy to be back.
Tampa
there.
Bay 32-13 at home. Wow. There's a look at his career hits here at Lone Depot. He'll go everywhere with his base hits. You know, for a guy who has an aggressive swing, he's been very consistent in his career.
Fly ball to center. That'll hang up there for Marcy. Crawford bluffs a tag, and Marcy got it back in quickly.
Yeah, and what I mean by consistent is that Arozarena's had 5 consecutive years, 20 or more home runs, 20 or more stolen bases.
Let's take a look at our youth player of the ball game tonight, and our youth player is Jake, who plays for the Weston Hawks travel baseball team. And Jake's favorite Marlin, Augustine Ramirez, still down there in AAA with Jacksonville, the Jumbo Shrimp. Jake wants to be a lawyer when he grows up. Is Dominic Canzone swings and misses right over top of a curveball, 0-1.
You know, Jake can become an attorney and then represent major league ball players, be an agent.
Good money in that. Another good curveball, 0-2 on Canzone. You mentioned the Rays this season, 32-13 at home. Last year at Steinbrenner Field, 41-40. So I think you are very accurate in saying they enjoy being back.
They're happy to be back.
Crawford gets a fairly sizable lead at first. Canzone behind the count, 0-2. Snuck away from Mack there a little bit. 17 base stealers caught by Mack, 23 stolen bases, 5 errors, 5 pass balls, 44th start. It's been unbelievable. As he has gone behind the plate, so too are the Marlins and this pitching staff. Phillips is 1-2. Missed outside. Marlins are 23-8 since the start of June. They've allowed the fewest runs in the National League. Offensively, they have the 2nd best OPS in baseball. Strike 3 at the knees. Got him looking at a sweeper.
Well, that's such a nice pitch. It freezes a hitter, and it's just part of the repertoire that Tyler Phillips has. That's a good one and suits him as a starting pitcher. And I think he's starting to feel more comfortable in this role too.
And I think his first strikeout of the ball game comes here in the third. That's a big one. Here's Raleigh. He has been very aggressive so far in this season. This series is Cal Raleigh. He was playing in his 10th career game against the Marlins tonight. A .290 hitter against Miami. 2 career homers, 6 career runs batted in. He's got that batting average up to 173 after his first inning single as Raleigh lays off a sinker. 1-1.
One of the standout players for the Mariners that the Marlins are missing in this series is Julio Rodriguez. J-Rod. He's on the concussion protocol. Should be ready next week. Certainly after the All-Star break.
He is one of the best young center fielders in baseball.
Look at the movement on this splitter. Dive bomb. Gets Raleigh to chase it.
1-2 on Cal. It's in the dirt. You mentioned Rodriguez and the concussion. Did you see how he landed on the concussion?
He was on the bases in a rundown, I believe, and one of the infielders threw the ball and hit him in the back of the head.
Yeah, got hit in the back of the head by a throw, knocked him out. It's in the first inning of their July 2nd game against the Angels. Two. Got him. Wow. How about that sinker from Tyler Phillips? Pair of strikeouts here in the top of the third. He works around the leadoff single by Crawford. That is filthy.
Welcome back here to Lone Depot Park. My pleasure to be here with Marlins legendary shortstop, a World Series hero, as a matter of fact, Alex Gonzalez. And Alex, you've got a chance now to watch one of the next great shortstops in Marlins history, in Otto Lopez. He's headed to the All-Star game. What stands out to you about Otto Lopez?
Well, thanks for the interview, man. Been watching the team for many times since I retired, and I enjoy watching the Marlins, man. You know, this guy Otto Lopez is one of my favorite baseball player from the Marlins, man. He's doing it all. He made the All-Star team. You know, he helped a lot of team to do for the team, and I enjoy watching his play, and the team doing great, man, this season.
Well, like you said, this team is playing some of the best baseball that they have in the first half in this franchise's history. So as you have a chance to watch them tonight, what do you like about this group of Marlins?
Young guys, man. Young guys. I think that the Miami Marlins they want to have a lot of talent for many years, and I don't watch it all like every day, but I think watching those guys, man, and when I sit on my couch, I enjoy seeing those young guys, the way how they play. They play with a lot of energy. I think a lot of chemistry, you know, all year. They never give it up. Like last night, I watched the game last night, man, and I'm enjoying watching those guys, the young guys playing baseball thankfully.
Well, I imagine it's the same way a lot of our fans at home felt about watching you, Alex. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Guys, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Jeremy, thank you very much. I'm sure the 8-year Marlin and the Venezuelan terrific shortstop love to see what he just saw from the Marlins Venezuelan third baseman, Javier Sanoja, who just started motoring there on that ground ball into left center. He picks up his 17th double of the year.
Yeah, and as he was talking, I could just kind of close my eyes and think of a double play. Alex over to Louis, turn it over to Derek Lee.
Hicks with a fly ball into right, and that is caught. And that's a double play. Sanoja had no idea.
No, he did. He had an idea. He just thought the ball was going to drop. He took a chance, rolled the dice. You see a player do that and the ball trickles away from the outfield, we're talking about great base running.
Yeah.
So he took a chance. Didn't work out this time. And it took a great play, a terrific catch by Rayleigh.
Boy, he was certain that that ball was going to get down, wasn't he?
Now, it's very easy to say if he doesn't take that chance, he gets to third base, and he's at third base with one out with a chance to score a run. But that's a second guess.
Right. That's very true. So Sanoja gets doubled off of second on the Hicks fly ball to right. And here is Otto Lopez. And Otto hits that off of Kirby. It hits the bag at second. That's a base hit. Lopez will stop at first after a big turn. Whew. Off his bat at 104.
That ball caught a couple of things. It caught a piece of Kirby, I think his glove. And he gives a thumbs up to his dugout saying he's all right. Gets the glove and then heads out towards second base and hits the bag before Young can get there. Otto Lopez can sting baseball.
Yes, he can. So that is the 101st different pitcher that Otto Lopez has gotten a hit off of this season. As we take a look at our Toyota trend tonight, Otto Lopez now with 125 hits, one shy of Luis Arraez to tie him for the most hits in franchise history before the All-Star break, 2 to take the lead.
I got a question. Is that considered, I think I know the answer, but is that considered an infield base hit, or because it trickled into the outfield, just a normal base hit?
Because it hit
because
Kirby,
it was 104.
and because it hit Kirby, that was the point of the touch. That's going to go down as an infield base hit.
104 mile an hour infield base hit.
How about that? So a very slight injury delay if you'd like to chalk it up as that. But again, that liner just hit Kirby's glove. So Lopez at first. Here's Xavier Edwards. Slaps it foul. 1 ball, 1 strike on X.
Otto with 17 stolen bases. Might be thinking about number 18. Get in scoring position for Xavier.
Marlins lead Major League Baseball with 98 stolen bases. Lopez now has hit in 8 straight with his 3rd inning rocket single. Stowers on deck. His homer in the 2nd, the difference right now. They check in on Otto. Marlins playoff odds this morning at 40% according to Fangraphs. After their loss when they were swept in New York at the end of May, their playoff odds 2%. 5 weeks, a 38% increase. Edwards takes a change up downstairs.
It's amazing and hard to believe after that series when they were swept that they were 26-34.
Maybe the magic number is 16. Last year they were 16 under, climbed all the way back to 500. And this year you see a 16-game swing. Edwards, he checked his swing, right? They were 8 under.
Yeah.
Now they're 8 over. Did you know, and I saw this morning, that the Marlins are the first team ever to go from 8 under to 6 over in 1 calendar month. That's how good June was. 1 calendar month. There's a look at your National League wildcard standings. That is a fair ball rolling down the right field line into the corner. Here comes Otto Lopez. He'll get a wave around third. Throw to the plate, not in time. An RBI 2-out triple for Xavier Edwards. 2-0 Marlins here in the 3rd.
Boy, it's really fun watching from our vantage point this play unfold. First of all, you have the breaking ball and the great swing off the bat of Xavier Edwards. Now you know with 2 out, Otto's going to be on the move because that ball's in the corner. But guess what? The third base coach has to get himself in position. Blake Lolly's in position. He waves him home, scores easily, and X is over at third.
And Pete Woodworth out to have a conversation with George Kirby, who's getting knocked around by the Marlins here tonight. So Sanoha leads off the inning with a double. Aggressive base running. He gets doubled off of second. But once again, Hutt, we've seen this all season long. Here come the Marlins with 2 outs. A single by Otto, a triple by Edwards. That'll bring Kyle Stowers to the plate.
So the Marlins, as a team, have hit for the cycle already.
We'll shut it down then. That's good enough. Stowers' home run, the longest homer surrendered by Kirby this season, traveled 416 feet in the second, leading things off. Stowers now with 4 homers in his last 4 games.
Here comes the knuckle curve. Kyle stays back. Great weight distribution. Straightaway center.
1-1. Here it is in 3D form if you'd like to see that. That's our 3D bullpen cam. Never in doubt. Traveled 20 feet further than Major League average. Kirby threw a fastball by him.
Yeah, that's some good power against power.
Check swing, they say he went around. Side retired, inning over. More damage done. A single and a triple, 2-0 Miami. Top of the 4th inning. The scoreboard brought to you by FPL. Marlins leading 2-0. The news on Owen Casey is as follows. He was removed from tonight's game with right calf tightness after 1/2 inning of play. You gotta wonder when that happened. Didn't get a whole lot of run out there in right field. That was very quick. Little limp coming off the field. We showed you that video. So hopefully everything is okay with Owen, but we'll keep you posted. But that is the news. Right calf tightness. Josh Naylor leads off the 4th. Marlins had the single, double, and triple in the bottom of the 3rd. They got one in the 2nd, one in the 3rd. That one misses up and away on Naylor. 2 balls, 1 strike.
As a hitter, Tyler Phillips is a hard guy to figure out as far as what you might see because he has such an assortment of pitches.
Three and one.
We saw him earlier throw a 3-0 sweeper.
And Naylor takes ball 4, and the leadoff man is aboard for the 3rd consecutive inning for the Mariners. Time to flashback. Josh Naylor, the 29-year-old out of Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, was the 12th overall pick in the 1st round by the Marlins in 2015. Here is a very young Josh Naylor, Hutt.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually saw him in the Mariners clubhouse today and asked him if he remembered that, and he said, "Oh yeah," he had a big smile. And I said, "Yeah, I remember you peppering that second deck and hitting home runs." You know, he didn't play very much in the Marlins organization. Only a handful of games, 25 games in rookie ball before he was traded. But he had some power. Still does.
Traded by the Marlins with Carter Capps, Luis Castillo, and Jared Cozart to the Padres for Andrew Kashner, Tyron Guerrero, and Colin Ray. That one got away from Joe Mack. That's a wild pitch. And the aforementioned Naylor will go down to second base. You might remember that deal. Remember Colin Ray made 1 start with the Marlins, and there was some medicals that didn't exactly clear, and he was sent back to San Diego, and returned was Luis Castillo, who was ultimately traded to the Reds by Miami. And Luis Castillo, of course, with the Seattle Mariners.
Now a part of their rotation.
That's right. So walking a wild pitch. Can Tyler Phillips navigate his way through this situation? We'll see. It's good. Curveball, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Raley, who dropped down a bunt base hit leading off the second. Swing and a miss. Good splitter. 3rd strikeout for Tyler.
Again, a part of that arsenal, you're just not sure what you're going to get. And Tyler Phillips drops a splitter on him. Good pitch to a lefty, down and away. Got him to go ahead and chase it. Big strikeout there.
Here is Young. Liner to second, caught by Edwards. 2 away.
Couldn't quite get it out, or he was waiting for Otto, one of the two. Heads up on Naylor's part to get back quickly. Not sure if he can get it out of the glove quickly.
Boy, how hard was that ball hit?
Yeah. Yeah, Otto was there. I just don't think X could get it out of the glove and get a grip on it. He got it out, just didn't have a grip. There he was. Double clutch.
Yeah. And here's Robles, who lays off a sweeper. Is that one of those plays for a second baseman? Is that where the coaches teach you within reason? Throw the ball to the bag, he'll be there type of deal? Or you really have to make sure if you're going to unload a throw there, you got to make sure he's going to.
You got to make sure Otto was there. Yeah. Otto was able to get there. He just didn't have a grip because you saw him double clutch.
1-1 on Robles, who hit Mack on the backswing. So once again, 3rd consecutive inning for the Mariners in which the leadoff man has been on base. And for the 3rd consecutive inning, Tyler Phillips is trying to negotiate a scoreless frame. And he's on the verge of getting out of it.
And he's on the verge of PitchCom not working too.
There is a PitchCom issue. Laz Diaz did just say that was a disengagement, but let's see if that is rescinded with the PitchCom issue. Anthony Perez is going to bring out 4 fresh baseballs and a new PitchCom device. Well, cheers to America. Make sure you come out and join us for a red, white, and brew celebration on Saturday when the Marlins take on the visiting Cleveland Guardians. You can drink around the USA and sample 7 different American beers before the ball game. Get your tickets at marlins.com/brew. Kind of like it's a late 4th of July celebration.
Yeah.
It's 1 week late.
Yeah, but nothing was going on. I put it up to my ear when he was in it.
And now the Mariners dug out not happy because they saw Laz Diaz say, hey, that's a disengagement. But he has since taken that back. And you could hear him say nothing was going on. He was referring to the PitchCom system. It was not working. So there is no disengagement. It's 1-1 on Robles, the number 8 hitter for the Mariners. Naylor still stuck at second. 1-1 pitch. Cute foul. Let's see, Mariners had 1st and 2nd or 1st and 3rd with 2 outs in the 1st. And a man at 1st with nobody out in the 2nd. Raley erased on the 4-6-3 double play. Couldn't cash in the Crawford leadoff single in the 3rd. And they're on the verge of coming up empty after the leadoff walk and wild pitch here in the 4th.
Now, Tyler had that game in St. Louis where he went 7 1/3, gave up 6 hits, just 2 runs. So that's some good starts. Good start against Texas. Gave up 5 hits and 2 runs in 6 innings.
That was the start, Hut, and I don't know what inning it started, but Phillips was feeling himself. He was walking off the mound
The
saying,
one in
that's
St.
6.
Louis?
Yeah. He goes, that one's 7. Then he started saying, I'm going to give you all 9, Skipper. Couldn't quite finish the job, but it was a terrific start. He's done a lovely job in the rotation. Now that is a disengagement. I think, you know what, I think Phillips may have shaken off. I'm not sure he liked what the pitch call was from Rob Marcello in the dugout. See what he wants to throw. 3-2. There goes Naylor. And the pitch is in the dirt. That is ball 4. And the Mariners have 1st and 3rd with 2 outs. All right, let's revisit the St. Louis outing I was talking about. I'll tell you, Phillips was feeling good that day. Watch him. He's saying, I'll give you all 9. I'll give you all 9, Clayton.
He wanted to do it. Believe it or not, he has a complete game. on his resume when he was a starter for a few games with the Phillies back in '24.
And he walked off the mound and said 7 1/3.
Yeah, he threw a complete game shutout against Cleveland.
There is Colt Emerson. Yeah, very early on in his career he threw that complete game. So Emerson reached down a fielder's choice in the second. You do have speed at first. And the 1-0 pitch coming is a ground ball up the middle. X has got it, flips it to second, and the Mariners leave 2 on here in the fourth. Still 2-0 Miami. Summer's on. Make sure you join the Marlins in supporting Venezuela. Purchase your 50-50 raffle tickets during this Mariner series, and you can help provide relief to those impacted by the recent earthquakes. One winner will take home 50% of the net proceeds, while the remaining funds will support relief earthquake efforts. You can buy your tickets now at marlins5050.marlins.com. And again, one final chance tomorrow for a $5 ticket to support those efforts and to watch the Marlins and the Mariners. At stake could be potentially a series sweep for the Marlins, or it'll be a rubber match. We'll see how this one goes tonight as Griffin Conine swings right through a fastball. He went after that high heater from George Kirby.
Thought it was great seeing the players that were helping out with the supplies.
Yes.
That were going to Venezuela, and also Clayton always has his family involved. That's great too.
Absolutely. The McCulloughs have been fabulous in that regard. That was yesterday. Otto and Javier were out there in Doral. It's the 5th strikeout of the night, and that was a sweeper from Kirby.
Kirby was an all-star. Talking about all-stars back in '23. Yeah, I mentioned he was a first-round pick out of Elon University up in North Carolina. That's in Jack McKeon territory.
Sure is. There's only ever been one other all-star that's come out of Elon, and that was the old right-hander Tom Brewer. Back in the mid-50s, early 60s.
I missed him.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Hernandez slugs one high and deep, right center field, way back at the wall. That'll one-hop the wall. Robles picks it. Hernandez pulls into second with a double. Kid is on fire.
Five for 8 now over his last 3 games. One hop off the Celsius side. Live, fit, go. Go for 2. You know, in talking to Clayton today before the game about Heriberto when he got sent down, he really wasn't down that long.
No.
But Clayton felt it was more, really weren't that many mechanical adjustments. It was more mental.
And whatever it was, it worked. That Celsius sign out there in right center field is fairly new, and the damage has been done. That one will leave a mark, especially coming off his bat. Make sure you stay tuned until the 7th inning for the stretch. Brought to you by our good friends at Celsius Energy Drinks. Jacob Marcy waits on a 1-0. And now it's 2 balls and no strikes on Miami center fielder who flew out to Seattle center fielder Victor Robles in the second. It was interesting. I was reading an article on Marlins.com today about this big turnaround for the Marlins, and I hadn't heard this quote from Clayton before, and I believe Christina De Nicola, who does a terrific job, wrote this on Marlins.com. But there was obviously a point. This team was at a crossroads after they were swept in New York against the Mets. 3-0's in there for a strike, and Clayton was basically, and I don't have it pulled up, but basically quoted as saying, look, is this who we want to be, or do we want to turn this thing around? You guys are good enough. This is a good team, but you know, you got to make a decision right now which way you guys want this season to go. There's plenty of time, and they certainly did make a decision. 3-1 ground ball. Hernandez gets out of the way. Now he's hung up. And they're going to tag him out. Got a little too far off a second. Not sure why he thought about going there with the ball in front of him.
I think he got confused. Bad choice, because the ball went right really between his legs. And watch his choice. Okay, he right there, but he's got to know when it's that close that he needs to get back to the bag. Heads up play by Emerson to put the tag on.
He may have known, because before the ball left Marcy's bat, Emerson was pretty much playing straight up. He must have thought as well that that ball was just going to get through once it split the wickets. That could be my only other guess there. For a long time, Jacob Marcy led the team in stolen bases. There's Emerson. And that was until last night when Esteury Ruiz swiped his 19th of the year. So Marcy now in second. Joe Mack struck out looking in the second. And he flies this out towards the gap in left center field. The Rosarena's on the run. He'll get there. And the inning is over. 4 in the books at Lone Depot Park. 2-0 Miami.
And a blue moon.
Well, that is an all-star, and do not miss the Marlins all-star sale. You get 50% off your Marlins.tv subscription and stream the rest of the season for only $27.99. This limited time offer will end soon, so make sure you sign up at Marlins.tv. What is that, about 50 cents for each game the rest of the way?
Yeah, that's a pretty good deal right there.
And we won't disappoint you, neither will the Marlins, who are 50-42 and have a 2-0 lead.
Got about 70 or so games more to play.
This is game number 93 on the championship playing schedule for the Marlins tonight as J.P. Crawford leads things off. You have to imagine that Clayton McCullough is going to start to keep a very close eye on his starting pitcher here as he starts to navigate his third time through the batting order. In fact, get a look at that bullpen. I think somebody might be loosening as Crawford swats one foul. The Marlins tonight have an opportunity to go to 9 games over 500. They haven't been 9 games over 500 since the start of play on July 19th of 2023. They have been riding this wave for a long time now. That is lined right at Stowers, and there's one away.
Got to be ready for those hard hit balls. Get your feet set. Get in a good position. Kyle Stowers with the pick.
The Marlins, Hut, have been kind of doing their part on the mound, but they've allowed a lot of hits to these Mariners. Really going back to the 4th inning last night. We have a challenge coming here.
Well, we talked about it too last night. The Mariners did not come through with a lot of key base hits with runners in scoring position. Last 11 innings, Seattle has put together 12 hits. They've left 14 on base, and they're 2 for 17 with runners in scoring position.
They've had their shots.
Yeah.
You credit the Marlins for finding a way to get out of it. ABS, by the way, powered by T-Mobile, and Arozarena was correct, getting that first pitch sweeper overturned. The last one, a sinker and a called strike. It's 1-1 on Arozarena, who has grounded out and flown out. Now 2-1. Well, you know, Phillips is probably chomping at the bit to leave no doubt in his manager's mind that he can get through this 5th inning and put himself in position for a win, which would be his 2nd of the year. Big healthy hack there by Arozarena, 2-2.
He has really, you think about different situations where a player has picked up a teammate, picked up his team. Tyler Phillips has certainly done that as far as helping out the rotation in a time when it was in need.
And Jansen Junk going to start tomorrow.
Yeah.
Speaking of a rotation in need, he'll be back. Check swing, no swing. Count is full. So once Junk returns tomorrow, and there will have to be a corresponding roster move, they have a 5-man rotation again. Sandy, Yuri, Max, Phillips, and Junk. 3-2. Fly ball right field. Shouldn't be a problem for Griffin Conine. It is not. There's 2 away. Some Major League Baseball news and notes for you. Shohei Ohtani hit his 300th career home run last night for the Dodgers, 5th fastest in Major League Baseball history to 300 homers. Tyler Tolbert of the Royals had 12 straight hits. That tied a Major League record with Johnny Kling. And there's a ground ball left side. Javier Sanoja's got it. That was crisp here in the 5th for Phillips, who's in line for a win. Looks like 5 innings will be enough for Tyler Phillips in this one tonight. Bottom 5 scoreboard brought to you by Werner Hoffman, Greg, and Garcia. Marlins leading 2-0. Should this one hold, Tyler Phillips would be in line for his 2nd win of the year.
I guarantee he would like to have gotten one more at least, especially after the quick 5th inning that he had.
5 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts for Phillips, who navigated trouble. Mariners 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position in this game. They left 6 on base with Phillips on the mound as Javier Sanoja leads off the bottom of the 5th, and he verbally went back to Las Diaz and has requested a challenge. He called this sinker a strike. And again, ABS powered by T-Mobile. Let's see if Javi's right. He's never wrong, and he's right.
See, I guess a bad thing to do if you're a player is to look back at the umpire and say, see?
Yeah, right.
It's not going to help your cause.
Sanoja doubled in the 3rd. And he lifts this one into shallow left. Emerson's got it. Let's go downstairs to Jeremy.
Well, Kyle, Tommy, I know it's the same for both of you. Every single time you hear George Kirby's name, you think of Nintendo's Super Smash Bros. Video game. So I found us some other players who share names with those characters, including a couple familiar names. So there's Kirby, Yoshi, Fox, the former Marlin, Link, the former Marlins minor leaguer, and It's-A-Me, the runner-up for the 1983 NL Cy Young, Mario Soto. This is also fitting for Kirby, guys, since Nintendo actually purchased the Mariners back in 1992, kept them in Seattle, but they sold majority ownership in 2016. They kept 10%, and now they have their racetrack logo on the home jerseys, and you can see it right there. That's the Switch 2 logo on their away jerseys. So just had to complete that for you guys.
That's a good one. Now, Jeremy, I
Only
must say,
Jeremy would come up with that.
well,
right?
how about this? You know, I'm a Nintendo guy. I'm extremely disappointed you had 3 Peaches in Major League Baseball history and you didn't put them on the list.
Wow. Honestly, Kyle, you should take over these stories from now on. We'll get you on the pop culture stuff moving forward.
Well, it's my specialty as Liam Hicks takes a strike. You had Peaches Davis, who played from 1936 to 1939. Peaches Graham, who played from 1902 to 1912. And Peaches O'Neill, who played in 1904. So the Peaches were kind of your early 1900s.
And I believe Ty Cobb was known as the Georgia Peach.
Right. Boy, that's a good one, huh?
I just liked Andy Fox on that list.
That was a good one.
Oh, always good to see Andy Fox. It was great to be around.
Not only was he a good guy to be around, he had a really nice 9-year playing career.
Yeah, he did.
Won the 1996 World Series with the New York Yankees. So he was teammates with Jeff Nelson.
First base coach for the Marlins for a while.
He and Nelly's first seasons in New York were together in '96. Jeez, Liam was ready to go on that sinker.
Had to be a little bit of a downer for Liam to find out, you talked about it earlier, that hit was taken away and given an error to the Rockies shortstop. A little bit of a downer for him. I mean, he knew he was coming into the game prior to that with a 17-game streak.
Right. That's the business, I guess.
So now he's got a 4-game streak he's working on.
See if he can get it up to 17. 3-2 is popped into shallow right. Raley was standing still. Now he comes in and makes the catch. 2 out. Well, the Marlins continue to help those in need in Venezuela, and tomorrow will be your last opportunity to participate in Miami's $5 offer. Donate an item at the home plate entrance on game day. $5 tickets as a thank you for donating. And the Marlins will make a $5 donation for every specialty ticket sold. Just scan that QR code. Non-perishable items, household goods, please get involved. The community here in South Florida, and it's a big one, but it's also a very small one, has done an incredible job since those devastating earthquakes to just rally around them, help them out. So good on you, South Florida, for helping. So we get a miss by Otto Lopez. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
You know, the thing about Otto is that you watch him hit, and you'll see him take those big aggressive swings, but he's gotten hits of his, what's he have now, 125, to all parts of the field. He uses the entire field. And especially when he goes extra base hits. Look at that. 25 doubles. Look at the blue. Look at it, all parts of the field. Same thing with the home runs. He's hit a few to the opposite part. There you go.
Liner out towards right center. And Otto Lopez has his second hit of the game. He's not content with a single. Wants a double. Slides in safely.
That's why he's an all-star. And that's why he's got 126 hits. That's why he's leading the major leagues in hitting.
That's why he should be starting that game. That'll tie him with Luis Arraez for the most hits in team history before the All-Star break.
Stays back, drives this ball. Another multi-hit game. How many's that? 40?
Have to check. It's 40.
Just a beautiful swing. Great to watch him run. He was thinking double as soon as he came out of the box.
That's the 7th hit in this ball game for the Marlins. It's their 5th extra base hit. So Lopez at second with 2 outs. And Lopez singled in front of Edwards in the 3rd. And then X tripled. And that all transpired with 2 outs. So can these two, batting second and third in the batting order, create a little bit more magic here in the 5th, expand upon this 2-0 advantage? Let's see. It's the 26th double of the season for Otto Lopez. And Hutt, you're all over it. 40th multi-hit game of the year.
That was off the top of my head, too.
Edwards, line drive, center field, base hit. Robles will come up firing towards the plate. Pretty good. Got him. Oh, no. And Otto was holding his right arm. I hope he's okay. A heck of a throw by Victor Robles will retire the side here in the bottom of the 5th. Getting a little bit older. He's still got a cannon out there in center. We'll look at it when we come back. Still 2-0 Miami. Top of the 6th inning, an outfield assist from Victor Robles in center to gun down Lopez at the plate to retire the side.
Well, the ball was hit sharply. Robles charged it perfectly, unloaded a great throw, and really got a nice tag from Cal Raleigh, who got the tag in. We saw Otto. Look at that's exactly what you want your on-deck hitter to do. Kyle Stowers letting Otto know what to do. Saw him look at that elbow, but basically he scraped it real bad, and the skin was coming off and scraped it. So he put I think he put a long sleeve on.
Ouch.
Yeah, he's got a little longer sleeve on there now, but boy, that was a little scary because of what we first thought.
And from our vantage point, all you saw was him kind of go limp and immediately hold that right arm as if it had gotten caught. You just don't know what happened. But a little peroxide and some athletic wrap later, and it's still 2-0 Marlins. It's the 3rd Marlin that's been put out on the bases in this game. Sanoja in the 2nd. Hernandez In the second, at second, I should say, not in the second, but at second. So 2 at second, 1 at the plate. So here is Cal Raleigh, and here is Cade Gibson. For a moment it was John King. It's Cade Gibson. We saw both of these guys last night, or at least this one, but King as well. Both lefties were utilized. Raleigh slugs one to center. Hit it pretty good. Marcy's going back with room. He's got it. And there's one away for Cade Gibson.
Well, I think that's certainly one of the reasons that Clayton made the move, bringing in the left-hander. He had Raleigh a switch hitter, but then Naylor and then Raley, a couple of left-handed bats.
And then Young if it gets that far. So you've got a little wiggle room here. You hope that amongst the switch hitter and then 3 true lefties coming up now, you can get out of this inning without having to use anybody but Cade Gibson. Nobody loosening. So this is Gibson's 3 outs to get here in the 6th. And here is Naylor, who walked and went to second on a wild pitch in the 4th. Marlins had a 4-0 lead in last night's game. Mariners got 2 in the 5th, 3 in the 8th to take the lead before the Hernandez pinch hit homer in the 8th. And then the walk-off winner in the 10th. How about that? That's embarrassing.
They saw the big breaking ball up in the strike zone. Swung so hard he fell down.
He was trying to tie the game with nobody on base. He struck him out. Good sweeper from Cade Gibson. He's got a little giddy up and pep in his step as we go back downstairs to Jeremy.
Thanks, Kyle. Well, let's take a look at our Ocean Bank prospect spotlight in the minor league report on Cam Canarella. Check out this bomb from Canarella. How about his 9th home run in the last 15 games? He was a selection in last year's MLB draft. You got that draft coming up for the Marlins over the weekend. But my goodness, Canarella, 9 homers in 15 games. He only played 19 games in High A Beloit this year before getting the call to Pensacola, and he's only been better in Double A. Just 22 years old.
Yeah, and I suspect that he's running himself right out of Double A into Triple A. I'll tell you why, as Raley lays off a sinker. Now with High A and Double A this season, Canarella hitting .367 with a .445 on base percentage, slugging .616 with an OPS over 1,000 with 12 homers, 45 RBIs. That's one way to get yourself to the major leagues. Come back, you're right to the mound. And that is a perfect top of the 6th inning for Cade Gibson. Nicely done. Miami Marlins baseball is presented by Doral Kia, home of the Pricito, and by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. Earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms apply. 2-0 Marlins, bottom 6 as we go back downstairs to Jeremy.
Thanks, Kyle. Well, we saw Kyle Stowers with a solo shot in his first AB, and as the Blue Moon bright spot shows us, it should not be a surprise, as Kyle is second in baseball in barrel rate since June 1st, trailing just Hunter Goodman. That guy's 3rd in baseball in home runs this season. Kyle told me before the game, this is due to a lot of work in the cage, in just being able to lay off pitches outside of the strike zone. He said he's slugging pitches in the zone more. This wasn't necessarily mechanical, but early in the year he found himself chasing a ton, pressing, trying to make things happen. So he spent most of the year trying to improve that. He also told me he's really enjoying playing first base. Not necessarily that it makes hitting any easier, but he likes the flexibility it provides to get other guys in the lineup, which shouldn't be surprising from such a team guy like Stowers.
All right, Jeremy, thank you so much. That's a really interesting graphic. You look at the barrel rate amongst those guys since June 1st. Hunter Goodman, Stowers leading the charge. Stowers carves one in the air to left. And there's one out for George Kirby here in the 6th.
You know, and you think about it too with Kyle Stowers, with the resurgence we've seen since he's gotten back in the lineup. You know, last year with his 25 home runs, he's at 12 now. I don't know if he'll get to 25, but he's got a good chance to get over 20.
Absolutely.
And get close to it.
Absolutely. Totally.
And
agree
considering
with
the time he's missed.
So at least to date, Stowers will have to settle for a 1-for-3. Here's Conine, who replaced Casey, who's got a cranky calf. We will await further word or imaging or what have you after the game. Conine immediately replaced Casey, and in the bottom of the second, following the Stowers solo homer, he singled. He's 1-for-2. George Kirby has recorded 4 consecutive quality starts. He might be headed towards another one here tonight. Needs 2 more outs. And in his last start, he was terrific. 8 innings against the Angels, allowed 2 runs, both earned, 7 hits, a walk, 7 strikeouts, 100 pitches, 70 strikes. That's very efficient. He's a good one.
They have a few of them.
It's almost an embarrassment of riches when you have to use 6 starting pitchers in your rotation. They were piggybacking guys, and then they just decided to go to a straight 6-man. No runs, 4 hits for Seattle. 2 runs, 8 hits for the Marlins as Griff takes a sweeper low and in, ball 2.
You know, one last thought on Owen Casey. It's really frustrating, I'm sure, for him, because over his last 17 games, he came into tonight hitting .348 with 6 home runs and 15 RBIs.
Well, hopefully it's just a cramp. You hate to see him actually go down for a little bit of time as Griffin lays off of a sweeper. The Marlins still have Ruiz, Jimenez, and Navarreto on the bench. You saw Michael Peterson loosening for the 7th. I mean, he was last night's hero. Peterson, bases loaded, nobody out, jammed, got out of it unscathed. And there's strike 3 called on Conine. And there's 2 away for Kirby here in the 6th. Well, make sure you celebrate the Marlins 2003 World Series champion shortstop Alex Gonzalez. How about another collector's pin series with a special ticket package that'll include a seat on the Legends level. Don't miss the Legends Pin Series on Saturday, July 25th at 4:10. Get your tickets at marlins.com/pin series. That's the exact pose from his 03 homer. That's sweet.
Right down the line.
Those are the details you love in that kind of stuff right there. That's really neat. That pin series has been a total hit. People are going nuts for those pins. Here's Heriberto Hernandez, and he takes a high strike.
And who knows? Someday down the road, there may be a Heriberto Hernandez pin. If he keeps it hitting the way he has.
It's they could overnight it. I got one. You can get one ready for July 9th. That would be tomorrow for the 6:40 start.
Do you have Amazon Prime?
Oh, of course. We've talked a lot about Heriberto. He just looks so much more comfortable and confident. Even the passes on every ball, it's with authority. It just feels like he's going to do damage. It didn't feel that way before he went to Jacksonville. And he strikes out. That's 7 strikeouts for Kirby. A quality start to date, but still 2-0 Miami. We go to the 7th. Welcome back. Top of the 7th inning. Scoreboard brought to you by Werner Hoffman, Greg, and Garcia. Marlins leading 2-0. Time now to take a look at the Home Depot. Working on a win. And the Marlins, the fewest games to 50 wins in franchise history. Took them just 92 games this season. Just the 4th time in franchise history. But, they've got 50 wins before the All-Star break. It's terrific stuff. So here's an interesting one, Hunt. Gibson threw just 9 pitches in a perfect top of the 6th. You do have Michael Peterson loosening. Bottom of the order due up for the Mariners, including 2 lefties. Do you just go batter to batter, and if it looks good,
I think you do.
Out there?
Yeah, I think you do. I think Peterson's probably ready. But with the way that Gibson worked in the 6th inning. You feel confident. He feels confident to go back out there and especially get some lefties that he may see.
That 6th inning was sharp.
Yeah.
It was really good for Cade. Cole Young 0 for 2. Gibson threw 1 inning last night, just 12 pitches, 9 in the 6th, 4 more here in the 7th. Big high chopper. Gibson spins, fires, got him. Nicely done. 4 up and 4 down.
You know what I loved about that? He didn't speed things up. He didn't rush it.
You're right.
He didn't rush it. He got over. He knew he was going to get the chopper. Little PFP paying off.
There are some guys out there that panic. They spin and that ball is halfway down the right field line.
You know who never liked to throw over to first base was Steve Cishek.
No.
He hated throwing over there.
You're right.
Because his best arm slot was from down
under.
Down under.
He was here last month. I think maybe the Nationals were in town. He played for a handful of teams at the end of his career, but he was with his 2 boys, maybe a boy and a girl, behind the visitors' dugout.
Was it the Nationals or the Cardinals?
Might have been the Cardinals. I know he pitched for them as well. I remember seeing him here. Steve Cishek, a guy that never aged. I still think he probably looks like 18.
He still looks good. Very involved in youth softball with his daughter. He's with the girls' teams up in Jupiter.
Him and the Kohler crew, right?
Yeah.
Tom Kohler's
yeah.
big into it up there.
They each coach teams.
Here is Robles in a 2-2 count with Emerson, the left-handed hitting shortstop, due up next. Robles was hit by a pitch in the 2nd. Drew a walk in the 4th. Mariners don't have a hit in this one since the 3rd. And they still don't have a run, obviously.
It's been another part of this really nice run since June 1st. Has been the pitching, the starters and the bullpen. And we've talked about the offense, talked about the defense. Pitching's been key.
Oh, baby, what a good curveball. Strike 3. Well, they called it a ball.
Yeah, Joe Mack challenged.
And a challenge coming. ABS powered by T-Mobile. Let's see if Laz got this one wrong. And Laz got that one wrong. That is strike 3. And Gibson punches out Robles looking.
Yeah, the big curveball just caught the upper part of the strike zone. Joe realized it right away and made the challenge.
What are the chances that phone call Daniel Moskis is placing is, hey, if Emerson gets on, Peterson's coming in?
Big Mike, are you ready?
Yeah.
Look at that sweeper.
Man, that was filthy.
That started right at his belt buckle.
That pitch, we saw the Phillips strikeout of Raleigh in the 3rd. That was filthy on a sinker. He's got the faux stirrups on. 0-1. And it's 0-2.
Another one.
Ruston, Louisiana, stand up, because your hometown lefty is looking sharp here at Lone Depot Park tonight. 0-2. Missed inside, no challenge.
Such a great feeling too for those guys down in the bullpen. You know, last night we saw the jam that Michael Peterson got out of. Bases loaded, nobody out. Now you got Cade Gibson coming in trying to retire his 6th in a row.
I mean, how uplifting. You go Peterson, King, Fauché, Fairbanks, Gibson last night. Gibson picked up his 2nd win of the year, closing things out in the 10th, or I guess throwing up a 0 in the 10th. Now, he hit you 2 innings out of the bullpen tonight. He and Phillips cover 7. And Peterson, Fairbanks down the stretch. Emerson stays alive. He's having a, Emerson is hanging tough here. He's having a really difficult time with these slow-moving breaking balls, however, from Gibson.
As you see, nothing but sweepers.
He just can't sit back on anything. Got him. Gibson fired up. Marlins lead 2-0. Stretch time here at Lone Depot Park. We'll take you to it. It's brought to you by Celsius.
First All-Star game appearance in Atlanta. Well, here we are a year later, and it appears as though Stowers is finding his all-star form. Earlier in the game, Stowers goes deep yet again. 416 feet to deep center field. This is the 4th home run in 4 games for Stowers as he starts to find his footing and starts to find that power that we saw last season. Right now, a .271 batting average since June the 1st, 9 home runs, 30 runs driven in, OPS of .959, and that hard hit percentage has been fantastic, 60.8%. Remember, he missed the month of April, and the Marlins missed him, but not anymore. Seems to be all the way back. And we'll be back to Marlins baseball after a quick word from our friends at Celsius.
All right, Craig, thank you very much. Bottom of the 7th inning time here at Lone Depot Park. Marlins leading the Mariners 2-0 in game 2. Should they hang on to win, they will have won another series. And it would be time to get greedy heading into game 3 tomorrow, but a long way to go before we get there. Seattle, no runs on 4 hits. Miami, 2 runs on 8 hits. And Marcy, Mack, and Sanoja, bottom third of the batting order for the Marlins, due up here in the 7th. And if you hear a faint round of applause or a modest roar, it might be coming from the Nick Davila family. He's on to pitch right now for Seattle. He grew up in Hialeah in Pembroke Pines. He went to Charles W. Flanagan High in Pembroke Pines. That before playing collegiately at Hillsborough Community College and the University of South Florida. So nice little homecoming here for Davila. The rookie right-hander, Hut, who is making his 15th appearance of his rookie season. I would say so far so good. He's got a 2.45 ERA.
He's fit in nicely with all the good pitching that the Seattle Mariners have. Just recently recorded his first career Major League save. Did so against the Orioles.
And he'll face Jacob Marcy, who's 0 for 2 here tonight. He has reached on a fielder's choice. He's also flown out. Marcy with a fly ball to right field. Rayleigh's going back. Rayleigh is onto the warning track. Rayleigh running out of room, but he reels it in. Boy, Marcy just missed that sinker. It was a good pitch to hit. Maybe just got underneath it a touch.
But I think you're seeing better swings each at bat. Better approaches, better swings. That's solid. Just got under it a tick.
Just missed. And here is Mack. So George Kirby tonight, 6 innings, 2 runs, 8 hits, no walks, 7 strikeouts. It's another quality start for Kirby, his 5th in a row. And tonight was the 52nd time this season that the Mariners got 6+ from a starting pitcher, which trails only the Dodgers, who've gotten 56 such instances. as Mack rolls over on a slider to first. 2 up and 2 down for Davila.
There is Big Mike getting it loose, and on the left, Lake Bacher.
And here's Javi Sanoja. So Brian Wu has worked 6+ innings 12 times this year. Kirby works his 6+ inning outing for the 12th time this season tonight. That's hit softly out towards second after it deflects off of Davila, whose family probably didn't even get a chance to blink. 5 pitches, 3 outs, 2-0 as we go to the 8th.
Hello?
Well, he was so good, we better take a look back at the 6 batters he faced. Cade Gibson, 2 perfect innings and 3 strikeouts. I mean, that's a huge part of this ball game, getting 2 innings of perfect relief.
Well, we talked about it last night, how that can really get things going. We talked about the job that Peterson did. Struck out Naylor, struck out Robles, struck out Emerson. Threw Emerson all sweepers. So Cade Gibson had it going for him tonight, and he was spectacular.
And speaking of spectacular, Michael Peterson. That's it. He's just spectacular. No, he was really good last night. Bases loaded, nobody out, got out of it. Again, that was amongst the unsung heroes we talked about last night. And Heriberto Hernandez pinch hitting, hitting the homer. Marcy walking off in the 10th. Marlins probably are not afforded that opportunity in Game 1 if it wasn't for Peterson's terrific relief effort.
I think that has been one of the most enjoyable parts, and I think fans who have been watching, especially over the last month or so, one of the most enjoyable parts has been the many different contributions we've seen night in and night out.
So 1, 2, 3 due up for the Mariners. Perfect spot here for Peterson. And one more thought on Cade Gibson, just watching him. And this is a guy we've seen some emotion from before. But it's July 8th, and the Marlins are in playoff position. They have an opportunity tonight to win to go 9 games over 500. As Peterson's 1-2 is hit foul. The emotion we saw from Cade Gibson, it almost to me felt like a little bit more like I did my part. Like that, I'm not letting the boys down because we're good and we're going to keep on winning. And I did my part tonight. It felt like more than just I'm pumped up because it wasn't like a selfish type deal. I don't know how to explain it. It just felt like a little more as the 1-2 to Crawford is skewed foul. You know what I'm saying, though?
Yeah, it's kind of like you hear the conversation with starting pitchers. One starter has a good start, so now there's competition. The next guy out wants to up him, one-up him a little bit. And I think the same holds true for that unit out in the bullpen. You know, they go out there. This guy did good last night. We got to do the same tonight.
Swing and a miss. Did he hang on to it, or did Laz Diaz say that ball hit the dirt? I think Laz was all over. It sounded in my ears like that ball hit the dirt.
That was the first call that Laz made.
I think Mack tried to get away with it. Thought I heard dirt. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it did. So good call by Laz.
Laz is telling the rookie, listen, fella, I've been doing this for decades. I might be done at the end of the year, but you can't fool me.
Might have got away with that in Jacksonville.
You can't fool me. And Crawford asks for time. I think they're still getting a good laugh out of it. He's telling him, look, I know where the ball hit.
See,
Enough.
Saying there's the mark.
Clayton's giving him a playful earful. Another 1-2 coming. Crawford's 1 for 3.
99 on that high heater.
His 2-strike punch-outs have been off the charts. You just feel, and he never backs down from anybody. With 2 strikes, he loves to elevate the fastball. We tried to elevate it, and Crawford got underneath it. And he pops out to shallow right. 1 away. And now a message from Werner Hoffman, Greg, and Garcia.
Winning doesn't just happen by accident. At WHG, we know every case is earned before you ever step inside the courtroom. WHG, preparation wins.
With Tommy Hunt and Jeremy Taché, I'm Kyle Seeloff. Thanks for hanging out with us, making us a part of your Wednesday night on Marlins.tv. Thanks for tuning in. But why wouldn't you, the way these guys are playing? How much fun has this been as Randy Arozarena takes 98 for a strike?
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Live in a town where you have right now the hottest team in baseball playing.
And if you show up to Lone Depot Park and you watch the Marlins, and let's say you go back to May 22nd as Arozarena takes strike 2. If you bought a ticket since May 22nd, there's an off chance you see a loss. But over their last 16 games here at Lone Depot Park, the Marlins are 14-2. They can go to 15-2 in their last 17 games here at home tonight. 0-2 coming back our way.
Take advantage of that home turf, and the Marlins have done so.
And what's made all of this more impressive is they're slowly starting to take advantage of the opportunity to win on the road. Remember how bad it was at one point? They come off the 7-3 road trip. Now they're 21-25 on the road, kind of hovering back towards 500. Tied for third most home wins in baseball are the Marlins. 29 wins here in Miami. But he'll live up there. He's not going to back down from Arozarena. He's got, he's got a slider he could feature, but he loves that high fastball. It's got some ride to it. Sayonara.
There's the slider.
Coming out of the same arm slot as that 100-mile-an-hour fastball that rides up. You got no chance. Sorry, Randy.
Yeah, you're Arozarena, and you're geared up for 99. And all of a sudden that slider with tight spin, that had some good bite to it.
Canzone with a ground ball to first. That's a 14-pitch perfect 8th for Michael Peterson. This copyrighted telecast is presented by Authority Miami Marlins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts or descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins, who lead 2-0 as we go to the last of the 8th. Liam Hicks sends one in the air. Left center field. Robles runs it down. 1 pitch and 1 out for Davila.
Tell you what, Victor Robles hasn't lost a step and is still smooth out there in center field. We also saw he made that perfect throw to the plate to nail Otto Lopez.
That's 6 pitches and 4 outs for Davila. And here comes Otto Lopez. .40 multi-hit games for Otto Lopez now. Is 2 for 3 tonight. It's the most in baseball. 6 more than any other player.
First player to do that since Jose Altuve.
How about that?
Back in 2014.
That's incredible. That's before the All-Star break. I mean, that's just amazing. And Edwards on deck. He's got a couple of hits in this game. It's the 14th time this season that both Otto Lopez and Xavier Edwards have each recorded multiple hits, which is tied for the most of any duo in baseball.
You know, I meant to mention it last night. Didn't get a chance. It's one of those moves that a manager makes. It certainly doesn't make headlines, but I thought it was well planned on Clayton McCullough's part to give a couple of guys days off in Denver. And Otto was one of them. Otto got a day off. X got a day off.
Yep.
And it was planned because I remember talking to Clayton McCullough before the trip. And, you know, some managers just can't make themselves do that.
Right.
Take their best guy out of there. But it paid off.
You have to stick to your guns sometimes. Yeah. You have to be convicted in your ways. And I think Clayton has all season long. Lopez grounds one to short. And there's 2 out. There's an interesting note that I dug up on Clayton McCullough, by the way. He is just the second manager in Marlins history to have a record of 500 or better after his first 250 games managed. I mean, it's pretty good stuff. Make sure you celebrate the legends in your life with a free ball game during Marlins Senior Days, presented by Delta Dental. Fans 65 and older, complimentary tickets every Thursday home game. Learn more at marlins.com/offers. And the only other manager to go 500 or better in their first 250 games managed with the Marlins was Jack McKeon, who started his tenure 139 and 111. Edwards swats one foul. Xavier Edwards tripled for the 6th time in this game this season. That's the 3rd most in baseball. Of course, the Marlins, that was their 23rd triple of the year. That's the most in baseball.
Is it Mr. Triple Corbin Carroll?
Yeah. It's like a nightly thing.
Yeah.
Might not be his first at bat. He'll sneak one in there, though. Could be leading off an inning. Could be with 2 out. You don't know. Pete Fairbanks loosening in the bullpen. He worked a fairly uneventful 9th inning last night. Allowed a 2-out hit to Naylor. Edwards slices one to left. Here we go. Here comes Fairbanks and a chance to win the series for the Marlins when we return. Make sure you come out to the ballpark on Friday with the Marlins open up a series against the Guardians at 7:10, and stick around after the final out for fireworks, brought to you by Werner Hoffman, Greg and Garcia, Injury Law Firm. And if you want the best view, purchase a special ticket package that includes game admission and on-field access to watch the fireworks up close. Get your tickets at marlins.com/USA Weekend. Hopefully fireworks on the field for the Marlins and fireworks postgame. Cap off a great night. Cal Raleigh's going to lead things off, facing Pete Fairbanks, who's bidding for his 103rd career save. And if he gets through this cleanly, it'll be his 13th save of the season. 12 saves, 14 opportunities, an ERA of 7. Cal Raleigh 1 for 3.
A couple of strikeouts for Pete last night in the 9th inning that he worked, and I know you and I both commented. I thought it was some of the best stuff we've seen from him as far as stuff and location.
2-0. High towering fly ball right field. Once it comes down, it'll be in the mitt of Griffin Conine. There you go, one away. Fairbanks got very frustrated last night when he allowed the 2-out little bloop single to Randy Arozarena, and I think I said Naylor earlier, I'm sorry, but it was to Arozarena. But just chatting with Clayton McCullough a little bit, they just still feel really good about this stuff, even though some of the results haven't been there. You know, there's some underlying numbers that would suggest it's been much better. Then there's the real numbers that you do have to take into consideration. But for the time being, this is their guy. They believe in him to get the final 3 outs as he brushes Naylor off the plate 1-0.
And I think some of those the numbers that he'd like to forget about have been in games where they've not been save situations.
Right. Naylor lines one to left field. And Hernandez will have to play it on a hop. The tying run's coming to the plate for Seattle. Naylor with his first hit of the night, 2nd in the series.
No, you got that fastball up in the zone. Naylor has that solid swing.
If he had a little bit more backspin on it, it probably lands softly into the glove of Hernandez. A little wiggle room here for Fairbanks. Not a whole lot again. Tying run at the plate. Here's Raley, who's 1 for 3 tonight, 2 for 6 in the series, and a really good hitter lifetime against the Marlins in 14 games. Batting right around .350 against the Fish. Naylor no threat to run at first. Very little lead, and there's a swing and a miss. Got a piece of it. 0-2.
And Raley certainly is a guy that has power. A few years ago in 2024, he hit 22 home runs. Year before that, he hit 19.
What do you do here, 0-2? You got him right where you want him.
Yeah, if you miss with the slider, you got to miss with it, or you miss up with a fastball.
Swing and a miss. He
There you
got
go.
him 2 away.
Out of the zone with the slider, got Braley to commit. Did I think early when he gave up some runs, he was missing with pitches like that and leaving pitches out over the plate? That was nasty right there.
And here comes Cole Young. There goes Naylor. He'll take second. Now a 2-run game. It's probably defensive indifference. It will be. There was no contest there. Although Naylor does have 16 stolen bases, that'll be defensive indifference. That run does not mean a whole lot. In terms of this 2-0 lead, 0-1 the count on Young. Another vibrant crowd comes to the plate. They are on their feet at Lone Depot Park. 0-2. Gets away from Mack. Scoots off to the left. Naylor goes to third on a wild pitch.
Yeah, he really tried to snap that one. That was an over snap.
Still in the driver's seat though, and what's Joe doing? Did his chest protector just break? I think it might have. Oh, I think the clip broke. He needs a new chest protector. Is this the equivalent in football of icing the kicker? Okay. And back comes Joe.
That's all right. Gives Pete a little chance to regroup and figure out how he's going to retire Cole Young.
Makes Young stand around and think about it a little bit longer. One-two Marlins trying to win the series. And the pitch. And the dirt.
It's great when you have confidence, though, in your catcher that, for the most part, is going to smother those pitches in the dirt.
And I just have to wonder if they go back to it one more time, if Young is thinking there's no way he throws it a third time or a fourth time in this case. One with a fastball.
Saw Joe Mack flick the glove up. He wanted that fastball up.
Out of the zone.
Yeah.
It can have no part of the plate. See if they go up there again. Maybe change the eye level. Go back with the slider. 2-2. He struck him out, and the ball game is over. The Marlins tossed their 8th shutout of the season. They have won their 6th straight series at home. They've won their 9th series since the beginning of the June. And they're now 15-2 in their last 17 games here at Lone Depot Park. And the Marlins are now 9 games over 500. And up to the moment, look at the National League East standings. The Braves are winning. That could change. And currently, the Marlins 2.5 back of the division lead in the National League East.
Well, you start breaking down this game as we look at the standings, the wild card standings. You start off with the Marlins getting the early lead thanks to the home run off the bat of Kyle Stowers. They added another run in the 3rd inning, their 2nd run, their only other run in the game, on that triple off the bat of Xavier Edwards. So that's the offense. The pitching was just tremendous tonight. Solid 5 innings from Tyler Phillips. Maybe his best outing. He probably has had some other good ones, but Cade Gibson was just terrific in 2 innings with 3 strikeouts. A quick inning by Michael Peterson. Fairbanks put it away for the save, and as quickly as all that, it's a 2-0 win.
Fairbanks with his 13th save of the season. Phillips his 2nd win. Kirby with his 8th loss. Miami Marlins baseball has been brought to you by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. Earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms do apply. A lively, energetic crowd here at Lone Depot Park tonight. We'd love to see more of you show up. But boy, these guys are playing well. $5 tickets. Come out to the ballpark tomorrow. Marlins will try to get greedy and go for another series sweep. This time against the first place Seattle Mariners in the American League West. 51-42. I think it's fair to say that folks in this town are starting to catch the fever of Marlins baseball. Jeremy Taché.
Thanks, Kyle. Here with Kyle Stowers. Kyle, for you, your first at-bat, you got the scoring started for this team. What'd you see that allowed you to rip a first pitch home run and give this team the lead?
Yeah, just trying to hunt pitches in the middle of the plate and, put my best swing when I get them. Thankfully I was able to put a good one and get it over the fence, and always big to score first.
Well, it feels like hitting has really been contagious for this team. Last night, Burt with the big home run, Marcy with the walk-off. But for you, 4 homers in your last 4 games. So you said you're trying to hunt pitches in your zone. But what does that mean? What does this approach look like for you right now when you're this locked in?
Yeah, I mean, it's simpler the better. It doesn't. It's never. I say this to you all the time. It's never as sexy as it looks. It's always just grinding, trying to get pitches in the middle of the plate, trusting the process, having a good plan, and when you line those things up, you take your chances.
Well, for this Marlins team, pitching has also been the key tonight. Tyler Phillips with 5 scoreless. Then you got Cade, Big Mike, Pete wrapping things up. What can you say about what this team's pitching staff has been able to do for you guys during this run since June 1st?
Yeah, I feel like pitching and defense is where it starts for us. Our staff is nasty. When they're filling up the zone, they're tough to get to. We want them filling it up and want to make plays behind them, and that's where it starts. Then offensively, timely hitting from there, but it always starts with pitching and defense.
So speaking of pitching and defense, you get Jansen Junk back tomorrow. Bryce Miller taking the mound for Seattle. He's been about as good as anybody in baseball since returning to the Mariners. So how do you guys head into tomorrow and try to make it 6 wins in a row and back-to-back sweeps right here at Lone Depot Park?
Yeah, same thing we do every day. Just prepare to win. It's all we can control, and from there we'll see what happens. But we put our best foot forward, prepare well, and we'll have a good plan.
Take it one day at a time right here. Kyle Stowers, enjoy the rest of your night. Congratulations on the big home run. Marlins win it yet again. And the crowd was electric tonight, guys. Really enjoyed this one. Kyle Stowers with yet another big home run for this team as they keep it rolling.
All right, Jeremy, thank you so much. Next telecast tomorrow. Plenty more coverage is next for Tommy and Jeremy. Our director, Brad Gerson, our producer, John Seltzer. I'm Kyle Seeloff. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. The Miami Marlins postgame show with Craig Mish and Rod Allen is coming up next.